paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Brainstorm Brewery. And I say a very special episode because this is not actually an episode. This is a
bonus episode.
special.
It's like the cereal you never got to get as a kid, the one with the prizes in it. Like you never got to get that prize, and now we're giving you one for free.
Yeah, it's like the holiday. It's like the holiday bonus. Is it a real episode? Which we do, by the way, a lot of years for our patrons at Patreon. But this is a different kind of special episode. This is all about Doctor Who and magic. So, if you're a fan of the crossover, you're going to be a fan of this episode. If you are not a fan of the crossover, or you just don't know anything about it, then you might be like DJ, who some might call a super fan. Some might say he's only watched one episode. The truth may be somewhere in the middle. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the cards here. DJ giving his take on them, and me as someone who got extremely emotional some of the Doctor Who arcs over the past decade. Interested to see how these line up. So
I would say that I have seen, like you said, somewhere in the middle. That is correct.
Mhm.
I haven't seen every episode. I haven't seen 0 episodes. I have seen one complete episode of the show. And then
what episode? We have to know.
Plus the one scene where, like, the Van Gogh scene that gets posted to Twitter every 3 months. I've seen that one.
Okay, well, what's the one episode you've seen?
Well, you'll have to find out. I'm going to tell you. That's what this is.
I bet I know.
I'm here to explain the lore to all the Who aren't
Whovians.
the Who aren'tians. I'm explaining it to the Who aren'tians.
Oh gosh, the Who aren'tians. Sure. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through the set list here, highlighting some of the cards, some of the big story moments, some of the art, and seeing what DJ makes of them. So, starting at the top here, first one that jumps out to me is the card Adap POS Offering.
I did notice this when
Adipose.
Gavin posted it to Twitter. I was really happy. I was so excited to see a card that was familiar to me. And I'm surprised that this wasn't super controversial. Like, I don't know why Twitter didn't lose their minds over this card.
Well, yeah, so it has Emerge, which is a neat mechanic. It's a 2/2 for 4. When it enters battlefield...
Wait, Emerge is not a new mechanic, Corbin.
I said a neat mechanic.
Oh, neat mechanic.
Yeah. It create a 2/2 white alien creature token if the Emerge cost was paid, instead create X of those tokens or X sacrifice creature toughness. So what do you think? What do you make of the Adap POS Offering?
Like I said, I was really surprised that it wasn't super controversial. This is actually the first universes within a universes beyond. This is when they did the Ghostbuster Stave Plus Marshmallow Man inside the Doctor Who set. It's a really weird cut. Like, I'm surprised they just tossed this in as a singleton secret layer card for that.
Sure,
but,
absolutely.
It's cool. I'm glad that we're doing within beyond of the secret layers and universes.
Okay,
really cool
sure.
Cut. Definitely gonna add this to all of my commander decks.
That is an interesting way to take that. In reality, the adipose are nasty little aliens who take all of the body, kind of put the fat in there, suck it out, and become aliens and get you. It's a whole thing. Adipose no good though. What you came up with better. This no good.
They're delicious.
They're delicious. Okay. How about the card Amy Pond? We're gonna scroll down a little bit here. It's a red card. It's a 2/2. Partner with Rory Williams. Her name is a Doctor's Companion. Deals combat damage to a player. Choose a suspended card you want and remove counters from. How do you feel about Amy Pond?
It's fine. I mean, I'm not into redheads myself, but other people are. I don't really know why she has the torch, because like Doctor Who, like, I know that there's the time machine. I'm not going to get into the technical details of how it works.
The Tardis, yes, go on.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to spoil it for them, Corbin. But, like, there's the time machine, so this is a very futuristic set, and she's holding a torch, which is a very medieval object. So it just kind of clashes with the whole universe and doesn't even make sense canonically, but it's fine. She's missing the tap unattached blazing torch, sacrifice blazing torch, deal 2. Very good card in Zendikar Limited if you ever go back and spend $100 to draft that. So like she is missing that automatic like tutor for the burning torch equipment, but I'll let it slide because the rest of the card is such a flavor hit.
Sure, fair enough. What this card is actually a reference to, and I'll let it be known. This is as far as the way Doctor Who is structured, the Doctor changes. It's always the same Doctor, but the actor changes. Yes, that's kind of what it's a metaphor. Ends up with different companions, which are humans who travel alongside in the adventures.
No, they're not humans. They're all
sometimes
human that break the game and shatter.
You're right, and you're right. Actually, they're not all humans. Oftentimes they're
like none of you can't even mutate onto humans. So like it was a whole thing in that COVID block.
Yeah.
Like Luris. I mean, we all remember that one. Like,
well, this is a famous art of Amy Pond in front of the Pandora, which is the thesis of the entire first season of the Matt Smith era of Doctor Who. So extremely iconic scene there that I assume went over your head while you're off about the blazing torch equipment.
Go draft Zendikar. Great limited format. A 3-mana 2/2 would not survive, but you gotta step link some early.
Next up, we're going to look at the card Astrid Peth. We've got another Doctor's... it's not actually a Doctor's Companion, as we'll get to later. But whenever Astrid Peth enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a clue or a food, she explores. Called Brand New Sky. So 2/2 for 2. DJ, what do you make of Astrid Peth in this art that we've got going on?
Well, she's clearly a very avid baseball player, swinging her bat at this swirly Cinnamon Toast Crunch style disc. That is the food token. It's one of those like cereal commercials where you can like see the taste.
And you see the taste, the rainbow.
She's just swinging it onto your battlefield. She's hitting all of that flavor explosion and coating your artifacts and your enchantments in that
home running the rainbow here. Sure.
And
close,
I mean, yeah, whenever you sacrifice one of those foods, because I mean now it's got like sticky sugar on it. It's like you gotta like clean the sleeve off. You sacrifice it, and then she explores and she goes find some more cards. Yeah, I mean this is a pretty like I've seen one episode of the show and I know all of this, so like I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Some might suggest that this is actually kind of an Easter egg. This character, because this is a character who was in one episode, and that episode was a Christmas special, Voyage of the Damned, where they're on the, I believe, I want to get this right here, the Titanic. The starship Titanic. The character was played by Kylie Minogue, and it's the whole episode is kind of devastating because
we've all seen the Titanic, Corbin. It sinks in the end.
Well, she's pretty awesome, and in the end, you think, wow, she's gonna go with the Doctor, be his companion. And it ends in a much more sad. This is one of those you're like, oh, she's playing baseball, and other people are just like heartbroken. All right, DJ. Next up, we're looking at the blue card, Become the Pilot, and it's got some pretty gripping art, I would say. It enchants a non-commander creature. You control it. It gets +2/+2 and can't be blocked unless it's attacking its owner or a permanent its owner controls. What do you make of the card Become the Pilot?
I've always been a fan of these very visceral blue artwork. Sensory Deprivation is another one, big fan of mine. That's from the original Innistrad. Go draft that set too. Yeah, like the art's very iconic, but it's a little detached from the name of the card. I think they could have gone with like a better name. Become the Pilot is a pretty deep cut reference to like a meta joke about like this becoming the pilot episode of Doctor Who, and like it's referencing like the show way back in like the 50s and when it first started, and like it's become like you're enchanting your creature to like become that first episode and like attack like some unstable kind of shenanigans. It's a little bit of a deep cut for my taste. I would rather the set be more accessible to people flavor wise, but it's all right. The art's very good though, even though it has nothing to do with the name of the card.
The art is awesome, just for the record.
Yeah, go watch episode 1 of Doctor Who, and then 6,000 episodes later, you'll be like, oh god damn it, I should have watched One Piece. What am I doing with my life?
You know, that's probably somewhat accurate. So the actual episode here is called The Pilot. And it's
Am I
actually
wrong?
it's very sad. You're I'm not gonna say you. Let's just leave that as. Next up is, you have to know this one, DJ. It's a multicolored card. I'm not going to read what it does because it just has a lot of words. Mostly they involve.
Are we talking about Blink?
Bigger on the inside. Surely you get this one.
Yeah, I mean it's bigger on the inside. What can you say? Like it's red and green, so it's Christmas themed. And
It is Christmas
that
themed.
means that like it's referencing when the Grinch stole Christmas, and when his heart got 3 times bigger.
No,
like,
bigger
his
on
heart
the
grew
inside of his
bigger
body.
on the
Yeah.
inside. And
point.
like you can see in the background there's that little like there's a bunch of decorations and lights and
True.
like, a bunch
Very
of stuff
exciting
going
looking.
on. Like they're teleporting you to the world of the Grinch. This is another one of those universes within universes beyond cards. They're doing that holiday special a little bit early, but like you're enchanting a permanent or a land, you're getting more mana, like you're getting just like this holiday spirit and just like ramping up into something big, like big Christmas present perhaps.
I'm just gonna say I think they did a great job on the flavor of this, of enchanting an artifact or a land, something that will add mana, and then it adds mana, but it gets you more than you put into it because you're cascading. Very flavorful, very, very nicely done. All right, yes. Next up, DJ, the iconic episode. I'm going to guess this is the one you've seen. It has translated to an awesome saga card. The episode Blink. What do you think?
This one is pretty big flavor fail just because I mean like Wizards disbanded the Judge Academy specifically for this card because they're going to get so many judge rulings of people not knowing how to move the die and the lore counters back and forth. So like I understand that they designed the card and that they wanted to make it flavorful with like you're blinking and like you blink when you watch TV a lot because your eyes start to get strained, and then like you just need eye drops, and like I mean when I sit down and watch 17 episodes of Doctor Who like a normal person, my eyes are really tired after that and I'm blinking a lot. It just sucks that they had to disband the entire Judge Academy for it.
That's a deep one right there, DJ. All right, what did you did? Surely this is the episode you've seen, though, right? Come on, admit it.
Why would this have been the episode I've seen?
Because this is the episode that is most often sort of like sent to people as like, you gotta, if you're gonna watch Doctor Who, watch this episode. You'll know what it's about. You'll like it.
Corbin.
Yes, DJ.
I'm not going to tell you. No spoilers.
Okay. Thank you. We'll get to that. Next up is the iconic character played by Jenna Coleman in the show, Clara Oswald. This is the Doctor's companion ability. It's a 2/6 for 6. It has the ability Impossible Girl. If she was your commander, you can make her any color, and your Doctor ability twice. But what do you think of Clara Oswald, the Impossible Girl, on this card here, peeking out?
She's all right. I mean, competitively, she's not going to make any splashes at all. She's a 6 mana, completely unplayable. You need 3 Ancient Tombs to cast that, and like nobody's going to play this in Modern.
Yes.
Like honestly, like really, really garbage card, and they should have never even printed. Like, there's no reason for this card to exist in the Magic the Gathering universe, and I mean, like it's really just impossible to put her in a deck. I mean, you can't even like justify like all the other like what are you picking a color? What are you, the Prismatic Piper? Like,
well, fortunately, DJ. Yeah, fortunately, you don't have to put her in a deck because she's a Doctor's companion. You can just set her to the side. Big brain right there. Yeah, Clara Oswald in the show is an extremely controversial figure, I would say. Some people thought it was fine. Other people, me, thought the arc was pretty terrible and ate up a lot of space that should have been Peter Capaldi's. That was my take on the character. So, as a companion, 6 mana, clunky. Don't really ever want to see it. Yeah, it kind of fits the bill, honestly.
What are we, 7 cards in? I'm 7 for 7.
Next up, DJ, Clockwork Droid. The robot. Got robot abilities. Look at this art. That's what I want to call your attention to. And tell me what you think about this extremely creepy art. Clockwork. I think that might be.
This is another controversial one. It's a little more controversial than Clara, just because this art is so erotic and just so extremely, just like people question Liliana the Veil. People question,
Dude, this is big like Olivia vibes, right? Like OG Olivia art. It's what it reminds me of.
It's a very horny card, and I'm surprised that Wizards managed to slip this one through legal. Like just red is such an intoxicating color to so many people. The wig is just on fire. Like what's under that mask, you don't know. It could be your favorite person in the, like, it could be the girl of your dreams, it could be the guy of your dreams, or anything in between. Like there's just, and the robot means that it vibrates on the inside. There's just like so many incredible things about this card that like probably shouldn't have been printed because Magic's a PG-13 game, but we take what we can get.
That's a take on it. This is from an extremely famous episode of the show. Although the droids, the clock droids made a reappearance in the Capaldi. It's a fun arc. Okay. Next up, this is one of the chase cards from the set and touches on something very central to the entire Doctor Who universe. And that card is Cyber Conversion. Turn target creature face down. It's a 2/2 Cyberman artifact. What do you think of the card? What do you think of the Cyberman mechanics? And what do you think Cybermen are?
Well, so this just turns things into morph creatures, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Like it's just a good blue removal spell. Gavin described it as reality shift with upside. And the art is just very, very. It's all right. I mean, it gives me like Faithless Looting Strixhaven vibes.
It's an interesting art for sure.
And the flavor text for those who haven't read it yet is "Do not fear. We will take your fear from you. You will be like us." And that's just wholesome. That's just a complete 180 from that horny NSFW card I mentioned earlier. This is a family friendly card. Like you're getting everyone around the TV. You're watching television. You're including that cybernetic technology into your lives in a wholesome, like just positive way. You're giving your kids some screen time, and like you'll be like us. You'll be one of the people on TV that you always want to, and you'll just like.
So this is where you're at with Cybermen, huh? You think you read the flavor text
away from you. Yeah. That can't be possibly bad.
That's nice. Yeah, you didn't read the flavor text on any of the other Cybermen cards, perhaps, but I like where you're going with this.
Yeah, like that person on the art is in the fetal position. They're very comfortable. Like they're at one with the universe. They're like mentally thriving in their lane, moisturized with oil because they're Cybermen now. But
that's where we're at with Cybermen from DJ. In the show, Cybermen are the one of the, I don't know, maybe like 2 to 3 core bad guy groups that make a reappearance throughout the show.
That's an opinion, Corbin.
You're right. That is a matter of perspective.
Like I'm the expert here, and
yeah, there are both sides. Conflict again.
Very fine people on both sides.
All right, well, you might feel similarly about the next set of, weirdly, I guess, also robots. There's a lot of robot themes, it turns out, in Doctor Who. But Daleks. How do you feel? We got Dalek drones. We've got all these Dalek squadrons. How do you feel about the Daleks you've seen across the Doctor Who set?
So I'm not a big fan of bugs, and they love to exterminate. Like I would get one of these for like I would hang it under the lamp in my house. I would like they're very they're very shaped like in a very good way to get those moths up in there and zap them and then like disintegrate them.
Yeah. So that's like, you think they're basically, if you look at all these Dalek cards, they do kind of look like giant bug zappers.
Like if somebody brought this to my house in the middle of June, I'd be like, "Oh, thank God!" Like just all these like just mosquitoes everywhere. I don't really know why everyone's so afraid of them when they are canonically just giant little exterminators that get rid of them. Like mosquitoes are the biggest cause of death in the entire world, and you're gonna like, they exterminate a person once in a while. It's called collateral damage. It happens. Like.
Next up, DJ, I don't need your opinion on this one. You won't get much of it, but I just want to say they did my boy Danny Pink dirty in the show.
Well, he's blue, not pink, so like
this was a prime opportunity for them to reduce a 6th color. Could have worked in a 6. No, Danny Pink was awesome in the show. He did not get the ending he deserved. That's okay. Next up is the card, the Saga. Death in Heaven. You can see Missy there standing over some Cybermen looking all powerful in this saga. Makes players mill. And then you get cards exiled with it as Cybermen. What do you think of when you look at Death in Heaven? Given your predisposition to appreciate the Cybermen taking away fear, what do you think about when you look at the card Death in Heaven?
I'm really not a fan of them proselytizing Christianity this hard with this card.
Sure.
Like, I get that they're adding a lot of universes into this set. Like, it's fine. I'm fine with Ghostbusters. I'm fine with several others. I just don't want, like, the Jesus secret lair. I think it's a little out of touch. Like, the whole Death in Heaven thing is really overdone religion-wise anyway. And, like, it's, I don't know, like, making it a black card makes it seem like they're, like, the preacher, like, hey, how do you do, kids? I'm edgy. But, like, just make it a white card. It's fine. Like, you can align Jesus with the color white and nobody's gonna bat an eye. Like,
okay, yeah, sure. This
like
was
exiling the graveyard is a metaphor for washing away sins. I don't know what you want from me, Corbin.
yeah, man. This is another one of those season finales that really has it's people's heartstrings. And I'm not gonna say you nailed it. Just leave it at that.
Really, Corbin, a nail joke after I make all these Christianity puns? Really?
I'm sorry, man. I just couldn't hang. All right, DJ. Next up, we've talked a lot about the metaphors in Doctor Who. This card, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
I mean, my initial thought when I saw this card was like, oh, they're just referencing the Dragons Fucking Cars subreddit. But I think it's a little more nuanced than that. Like, this is very clearly just the episode where they had dinosaurs on a spaceship, and it's okay for that red-green style of beatdown card to be just that. It's just what it is. I don't know why. Like, we have so few cards that we have the ability to go through with this set review because there's 1,000 cards in the set, and you're just softballing me this, like, yeah, it's, what do you want me to say, Corbin? It's dinosaurs on a spaceship. You gave me
thought I thought I could trip you up. But as it turns out, DJ, the episode is in fact entirely about some dinosaurs on a spaceship. Nailed it.
You're gonna pitch softballs at me this entire set review.
Next up, DJ, I want to call your attention to the art of this one. Don't blink.
I blinked already.
You blinked. It's terrifying, is what it is. The Weeping Angels from the episode. Blink, if you couldn't have guessed. All right, DJ, you mentioned earlier have seen a famous one, so let's look at the card Ecstatic Beauty. It's a sorcery for 3 red, exile the top 3 of your library. You can play them until turn. Put time counters on each of those that has to spend, and it itself has to spend. Ecstatic Beauty, and it has in the picture Victor Van Gogh from the amazing episode.
This is just pathetic for Wizards. This is honestly just so pathetic. Like,
I said Victor Van Gogh, Vincent Van Gogh, excuse me.
I was going to let you slide on that one, Corbin.
Thank you.
This is just honestly a sad, pathetic excuse from Wizards. Just give up. Pokemon beat you. They did the Van Gogh Museum. Like, there's already a Pikachu. It's way cooler. Like, you can't just beat that with Pikachu with his adorable little hat. Like, no, this doesn't do anything for me emotionally. It doesn't do anything for anybody emotionally because that Pikachu exists. Just run into Van Gogh Museum, assault a security guard, and get that Pikachu. It needs to go on eBay. You need to sell it immediately and profit. That's what matters.
Can you imagine if they had... This card is beautiful. This card means so much. This episode was so amazing. The art style is so cool. Shout out to the artist, Alice Sang. This is an incredible one. And you know what? I hear you on the Pikachu because it is pretty cute. Imagine if Pikachu was in this picture. All right, next up, the most famous, one of the most famous episodes of the show, certainly of the early seasons of the show, and the most expensive card in the set, Everybody Lives, exclamation point. All creatures gain hexproof and indestructible as well. Players getting hexproof, can't lose life. Players can't win, players can't lose. What do you think Everybody Lives in this amazing art on it? What do you think that's?
I think it's really sick and twisted that Wizards made a card called Everybody Lives, even though everybody died in that episode. Like, it's honestly pretty distasteful.
Everybody died in that episode. Oh, man. Have you seen this episode, DJ? Is this the episode you've seen?
No spoilers.
God. Oh man. Well, this was an amazing, one of the most famous things. The the Doctor Dances, I believe, was the name of the episode, and it's a very creepy, extremely creepy episode. It involves kids and kids possibly dying, but as you can tell, the title is Everybody Lives, and it's an incredibly moment in Doctor, and also in the larger context of the show, kind of speaks to some character development of what the Doctor is calling. I love it. It's a great one. Next up, Farewell. As you can see, it's the card Farewell with my boy David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, there saying farewell. What do you think?
This is from that very, very iconic episode where he graduated from college and he just didn't want to leave his dorm. Like he
enjoyed
made a
it.
lot of friends there. They had their whole like breakfast club style camaraderie. It was cool. It was awesome.
It was full on Van Wilder, right?
It was really sad when they all had to go their separate ways and get real jobs. And like he became a medical doctor, as the show's entirely about. And like it was sad. He didn't want to go. I get it. Like there's that whole like
He
kind of
doesn't
like
wanna go.
ephemeral. I mean, we see the same art style as the other card where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, he's like fading away, and but like, yeah.
He doesn't want to go.
And then
That's
they
his
played
thing.
like the punchy outro at the end that was a little sad. And
Look at it this
Yeah,
way.
I
Haven't we
cried
come?
about it.
We've look. I cried a lot on this episode. I think we've come full circle though on the farewell with the Doctor saying farewell here. It's sad. It was sad for him. It was a full circle arc for him, but it didn't feel good. He didn't want to go, and I didn't want him to go. But also, Magic's come full circle because if you think back around the time that was popular and the card Vincer the Sojourner was printed, everybody in the world altered that one to be David Tennant as Doctor Who, and they were just ahead of the times.
you mean ahead of the timey-wimeys?
Ahead of the timey-wimeys. You are right.
I'm good at this. That's why you wrote me on as an expert.
All right, DJ. In the same vein, the same Doctor, and this art will tell you a lot, but this is what killed me in this one. But this was so good in the show. 4 knocks.
I think this is like a very weird cut to like the entire state of the economy and like how the US uses the gold standard and like it's I mean it's a very famous place from like all those movies. Oh, you said 4 Knox, not Fort Knox. I am so
Oh
sorry.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, close.
I am
yeah.
so well, we're out of time.
Similar.
So we gotta go to the next card.
All right, next up, a bit of a scroll down here, but this is another piece of incredible art from an incredible episode, and it's called "Hunted by the Family." It's a blue card. It's a 7 mana. It's got some abilities. You get 4 target creatures you don't control, and then their controller has to make a villainous choice where that creature loses all abilities, or you get a token's a copy of it. And this art is very creepy. Hunted by the Family. What do you
I mean, it's pretty clear what's going on, Corbin. Like they got guns and they're a family and they're hunting you. And shout out to Wilford Brimley for getting a secret lair.
think? Sure, yeah.
Like he's America's favorite medical warning guy, I guess. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what you wanted to say. He's a classic, and I'm glad that he got to be on a Magic card. I'm sure he plays a lot of Commander, and I'm sure he also just hunts people for sport.
If possible. Well, this episode, I'll say, was amazing for anybody who saw it. It was part of what I would describe as like just some of the best writing in the show ever. There's a 2-part episode, Human Nature and the Family of Blood, which is what this is a reference to. It has an incredible ending, and then it is followed immediately by the episode Blink, an incredible run in the 3rd season there. So, Hunted by the Family. Yeah, you're close enough. Not far off, really.
Dude's rocking a great beige suit. I don't know what you're going to say.
All right, next up, look at the card Inspiring Refrain and just go.
We got a Star Trek cameo. We got some dudes and their squiggles and their tentacles. I'm not a Star Trek fan. I can't do this one. I don't know anything about that fandom.
They are, yep. They're there. They got their little speech balls. We call those dude.
What do you want me to do? Make a joke about that one guy who plays the same song over and over again at the bar in Star Wars? Like that's
we
got
call
nothing on this
them the Ood. All right, DJ. Next up, and this one, I'm going to be honest. You're the expert, so I have to ask you about this one because I don't understand why it is what it is. But the card Laser Screwdriver.
Laser screwdriver.
3-mana rock with some additional abilities of surveilling and goading and tapping creatures. It's called a laser screwdriver.
So this is another cut to another fandom. They finally got the Sega implementation. Sega's been asking this for a while, and so we have our first Sonic card. Like it, I don't know why
We don't.
What?
This is not a Sonic card, DJ. This is a laser card. Very different. Because, as you will now know, this is the laser screwdriver card, but later there is a Sonic screwdriver card as well. So this is not the Sonic, that's the Sonic.
Give me a 90 instead of 100 on the test then. What do you want from me? I'm up here translating all day. I watched 17 hours of Doctor Who before this, and I had
17 hours of
blink
Doctor
a lot
Who
during that, and that's why this episode is sponsored by some eye drop company. I don't know.
Next up, multicolor card here. A lot of words on it. We're not going to read them all. The card is called Me. That's literally the name of the card. Me, the Immortal. You might think, hey, that looks a lot like Arya Stark. And the answer is because it is, in fact, Arya Stark in the show and on the card. What do you think about Me, the Immortal?
This one's not intentional by Wizards, but I have to give it to them. This is a reference to you and how you always brag about having an immune system.
So I'm immortal because it's me?
You seem
Great.
to think so, and yet you
Great.
refuse to do the milk crate challenge.
You put the milk crates in front of me and they will be challenged. I'll tell you that much. Okay, it's that simple. Me, the Immortal, ties in with Clara Oswald as one of the possible worst storylines. Just my opinion. The nanogene conversion. Rolling down to that one, DJ. We got more gas masks. You choose target creature you control, and your creatures become a copy of it.
Creepy Kid episode 10 out of 10. Go watch it. I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but this is just like a very, very incredible moment for anybody that appreciates just gas mask stuff. I've only mentioned kink stuff once in the previous card review, but like, if you're into that, like, this is the episode for you. They've even got the little, like, Swiss Red Cross thing to bring it all home.
Sure, man. Why not? Next up, DJ, this is a fun one. This is a really flavorful one. Psychic Paper.
2-mana artifact. This is just a very easy softball to every altarist in the world.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, what do you think about this art? It feels like it's straight out. It's some like early 90s.
It's whatever you want it to be. That's what
exactly.
the entire Doctor Who franchise is about.
Well, in this case, the Psychic Paper is good. But you know what this also is? Every time you get one of those blank cards in a pack that's just white, and it's got nothing on it, just a misprint or error or whatever, it's not that. What it actually is a secret layer bonus card, Psychic Paper. All right, DJ, next up, Regenerations Restored.
This card doesn't regenerate creatures. Why? Like, they've brought back every ability in Magic. They brought back Immerse. They brought back Cascade. They brought back Time Counters. And yet they were too scared to bring back Regeneration as a mechanic, even with the Clear Christianity tie-in.
Sure. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay.
Like, it's blue and white. It's very much like, yeah, you get to regenerate your stuff. But no, it just has Vanishing, which is a much worse mechanic. There's terrible bookkeeping because you have to use all these time counters, and it's really annoying.
I think it looks like fun.
Yeah, and extra turn cards aren't fun, so
You almost never get the extra turn out of a Vanishing 12 card. That said, this has a huge, huge relevance in the show. We talked before about how all the doctors have different actors. The doctor has different actors throughout the time periods, blah, blah, blah. And the Regenerations Restored, with no spoilers, as you mentioned, is very key to how things progress. We'll just say that. Next up, this is you've been teasing it all along, DJ. The card with the word spoilers on it. River Song, 3-mana 2/2 red blue. You draw cards from the bottom and set at the top of your library. When an opponent scries, surveils, or searches top of their library, put a +1 counter. Deals damage equal to its power to that player. What do you think about River Song? What do you think about the spoilers, the art here, the character? This is a big one.
All right, I'm glad we're closing out this episode with pick of the week because my pick of the week is Time Stream Navigator. Puts stuff on the bottom of your deck. Just very obvious tie-in with the cards mechanics. I mean, you draw from the bottom of your library, so you get to kind of go infinite sometimes. Buy those Time Stream Navigators, make them go up. Not going to give you any spoilers about the episode. But like, yeah, like, I mean, this is Brainstorm Brewery. We're a finance podcast, and I think you should look at the EDH page for River Song, find any card on there that is under $16 or so, and just buy all of them.
River Song is pretty awesome, I'll say that. In the show as well, some of the best stories. The RMS Titanic also comes up next. It's, as you can see, it is a Titanic on a spaceship, connecting back to the Asteroid Path card we had earlier. All right, DJ, scroll down a little bit. I'm going to hit you with 2 cards in a row here. Back to back on the sport. Snuff Out and Solemn Simulacrum. These are reprints. I want you to look at this art and tell me what you think's going on there.
That's a Fortnite skin.
That's a Fortnite skin. This is a kind
of... I can see them doing like the little whatever the dance is that the kids are doing nowadays. Like, I can see that person, like that little guy just teabagging a Naruto holding an AK-47. Like, I get the vibe. It's fine. Like, I'm here for it. They type like Doctor Who traveled to Fortnite, or like, it's fine.
You know, that's kind of... It's not... They don't really find out where they're at in the episode per se. That honestly could have crossed over into the Fortnite universe at some point. The whole thing is these creepy little robots just look at you and kill you and say, "Don't be alarmed. This is a kindness." That's my new thing. When you're just screwing someone over, just in Commander, right? You're just absolutely brutalizing their board or whatever. Just, don't worry, this is a kindness, and it's important to be kind. All right, DJ. This we mentioned it earlier. We teased it. I have to know, as somebody who is an expert on Doctor Who, we see the card Tardis, the 2/4 flying through card vehicle. When it attacks, if you control the Time Lord, the next spell has Cascade, and you may planeswalk among all things. What do you think about Tardis based on the card?
It's an acronym for something.
True, DJ.
I might have missed the one weird Christmas special throwaway episode where they mentioned what the acronym was for.
It's possible.
I'm trying to think back because I binged it. I binged this show really hard in preparation for this.
Look,
and
we'll
it must
give
have
you a
just been
minute.
like one of those late night episodes, 16 hours in. And they were like, at the end of the episode, they were like, the TARDIS stands for, and then he swings open the door, and then it like fades to black, and then I don't remember what the name of
that was it. You just lost it, huh?
I'm letting everyone down, I know, but like it might just be better for them to watch for
Don't
themselves.
worry, DJ. I've got a like a baby's first word book. That's Doctor Who themed. Count to 10 doctors. The point is, it tells you what the TARDIS is. I'll send it to you. You'll get it all caught up.
What is the BAY stand for? Like the TARDIS Bay? What's the acronym for that last 3 letters? There's the TARDIS Bay. Like,
if you have to know, I can't explain. If you have to ask, I can't explain. All right, next up, couple left here. The Face of Bo. Best guy, 4-drop, allows you to cast cards with suspend from you. What do you think about The Face of Bo?
I'm scrolling past these 17 different versions of the 8th Doctor. This is part of the Cybermen franchise where they're like, you're not alone, you need no fear, like they're all just like friendly, and Jeskai is a very friendly color combination. It's red, white, and blue, patriotic, very friendly. I mean, America helps out everyone. This guy does too. Just you may cast a spell with suspend from your hand, and so like you're just like speeding up the process of just getting everyone together to be one big happy family.
You're actually more right than you know with this one, DJ. More right than you know talking about The Face of Bo. Good for you.
Nice.
Next up,
rhyming there.
Thank you. Next up, The Flood of Mars. Dramatic sounding. Look at this art. Island walk creature. Water always wins.
Not against like, I don't know, like grass, electricity, like
blood counters.
Ice tends to beat water in a lot of RPGs. Like I don't. It's not always.
Did you go Pokemon? You went Pokemon, didn't you? You definitely went Pokemon.
I went Pokemon like 12 minutes ago when I talked about the Pikachu.
We're just still there with the flood of Mars. This is another high point of the show.
They only added this card for Dan players, right?
For Dan players, it might be a Dan card. Water always wins. No, this was the Water of Mars episode. More with the inspiring refrain. Talked about it. More with David Tennant. Really an incredible piece of Doctor Who writing, one of those episodes that sticks with you for a long time. DJ coming down the last few here. The Pandora. Scroll down for that white artifact. It made a background appearance with Amy Pond earlier. And now you see the Pandora with a little line. Looks like there's something glinting there. Maybe it's a opening, perhaps.
You can't fool me. This is a poneglyph from One Piece.
I haven't seen One Piece. You'll have to explain the crossover here.
It's a box, Corbin. It's a big box with writing on it. It's mysterious. Like, that's what they are in One Piece too. Like, I'm really annoyed that they time traveled to 1999 when Oda wrote One Piece and stole this from his storyline, and then went back to the 1950s and put it in theirs and be like, oh, we're first. Like, kind of rude. Greatest anime of all time, most popular anime of all time. Like,
it's actually funny because the Pandora is from like 2011 and definitely could have been taken from One Piece. But it's great. It protects something in there. It's a very relevant story piece.
Or it protects everyone else from what's in there. That's
exactly right, DJ. That is exactly right. You say acts like he's never seen the show. He's got the whole thing. All right, DJ. Coming up on the end here, the sound of drums. All right, tell me what
I mean, nobody likes drums. Have you seen Step Brothers?
I've seen that thing going around TikTok where drummers pick up songs they've never heard before and play drums to them, and that's cool. Well, we know what we got against the sound of drums.
You know, every divorced parent buys their kid as a drum set. That's what you're gonna do when you're divorced in a few years. Like, you're gonna buy your kid a drum set just to make your wife miserable. But nobody likes drums, and clearly none of the people in this art do either.
No, he did not. The master did not like the sound of drums. That is for sure. All right, fitting one here to wrap things up, DJ. The card, This Is How It Ends.
So, I mean, the card's name is This Is How It Ends, so I kind of have to give a spoiler when I want to talk about it.
It's true.
I was really big. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I've seen all of it, and because I loved the show so much that I went and watched every other show that has every other actor from Doctor Who. So, like, if there's an actor in Doctor Who, I've seen that person's entire cinematic IMDb. And This Is How It Ends is a reference to when Jessica Jones snaps Kilgrave's neck, and that's how he ends. Because, I mean, everybody loves David Tennant, right? And so, like, that's how he ends, is like he tells her to say...
Are you kidding me?
He tells her to say I love you, and she snaps his neck.
Are you kidding me? I'm like halfway through season 1 of Jessica Jones, you gigantic piece.
That show came out like 6 years ago.
I know, but I watch it like one episode every 3 months with a friend. And I'm halfway through, man. God damn it. I might even be more than halfway through. I have like 3 episodes left of the first season.
Did you expect anything different?
This is how it ends.
Yeah. He does the whole, like, say I love you thing, and she just, like...
Okay, well, we'll watch it. We'll get there eventually. I'll pretend I didn't know. You were right about spoilers. You've been saying it all episode. I guess I asked for that one. So, all right, well, this is how it ends. This was the episode of Doctor Who that broke me. I don't want to watch this one on the rewatch of Doctor Who. This was too much. Well, we want to thank all of you who made it here. I'm so glad that DJ was able, after teasing spoilers the whole episode, finally be able to provide them out for me. Thank you for the special recording here, DJ. Thanks for taking the time. Thank you, all of you, for listening to us talk about Doctor Who. You can catch the regular episodes of the podcast every week on Brainstorm Brewery's YouTube page, on brainstormbrewery.com, on Patreon, where we appreciate all of the support we get that makes this possible. patreon.com/BSB. So if you like Doctor Who, get out there and enjoy these cards. And if not, well, maybe they'll make some different versions of them in the future. But either way, this was a fun look through Doctor Who. Thank you everyone for listening. See you next time. It's Brainstorm Brewery.